Hey, this is Matt Strawn from Volkis, and in this video I'd like to go over vulnerabilities in Report Ranger, how they work, how they're ordered, how it looks in the final report, and perhaps give you a few ideas of how you can improve some of the reports that you have. Now, what I've put together is pretty much the simplest kind of report. You've got the markdown that generates the report on the left-hand side and the report itself on the right-hand side. And I've just got a simple thing that runs Report Ranger every few seconds. So that report on the right-hand side in Markdown should update VS Code automatically reloads it. The report itself is as simple as you can get. You've got the report body, and then you've got the vulnerabilities directory. And the vulnerabilities directory is where you put vulnerabilities. As simple as that. In the directory, there's template.md. Template.md is special in Report Ranger. It just ignores it. It goes, okay, that's a template, don't worry about that. So the two other files are another vulnerability and random vuln. So let's have a look. Random vuln, some random vulnerability. Okay, so that's the first vulnerability here. Name, some random vulnerability. That's up here, so that's the name of the vulnerability. Likelihood is likely. Impact is severe. Okay, but how does it know the risk? Well, Report Ranger will run the risk assessment for you. So the risk assessment can be dynamically coded in the template, and this is a risk assessment that comes in the sample template for Report Ranger. It's also a risk assessment template, a risk assessment matrix that we use at Volkis at the moment. So likelihood of likely, impact of severe, likely, severe, okay, that's high. And so that's what's coded in. If we then change, let's say we're changing the impact to critical. Let's change that. So likely, critical, that should change the risk ratings critical as well. Okay, likely, critical, risk is now critical. Let's try going the other way. Let's go rare and low. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's changed some random vulnerability to low, but it's also reordered them. The second vulnerability is no longer the second vulnerability anymore, and that's because it has a high risk. The second vulnerability is medium, the some random vulnerability is low, so it goes, okay, we want to show the most important stuff to the client first. Let's put second vulnerability, the medium vulnerability first. And so if we change back to likely and critical, then it should reorder again. The second vulnerability should no longer be the second vulnerability. There it goes. Of course, this is a pretty simple report. You've got just one scope here, detailed vulnerabilities, it's all lumped into one bucket. But often penetration testing reports, you have different scopes. You might have internal penetration testing, you might have external penetration testing, or a bunch of different web apps that you might have. Let's see about internal and external penetration testing. Now, it's pretty simple. All you do is create new folders. Okay, we've got internal penetration testing, external penetration testing. Let's put another vulnerability in external penetration testing. Let's put random vuln in internal penetration testing, and let's see what's happened. So Report Ranger has gone, okay, some random vulnerability is in internal penetration testing. The second vulnerability is in external penetration testing. And it's split up the scopes in the report as well. And let's look at the ordering. Even though you'd think, okay, E comes first, alphabetical order, it's put internal penetration testing first. And the reason why it's done that is because you've got a critical risk here. You've got a medium risk here. And by default, Report Ranger goes, you know what, let's put the highest risk first so that that's the first thing the client sees. Now, this means that you don't have to worry about improper risk assessments. You don't have to worry about tracing down the back of the report to go, okay, likely, severe. You just have to put in what the risks are. You don't have to worry about the numbering and redoing it at the end of the report. You just have to worry about what the risks are. Everything else should be done for you. And it ends up just being, okay, throw the vulnerabilities in the bucket and the report ranger will do the rest for you. I'm going to be doing more of these videos, including dynamic vulnerability templates, which should save more time later on. But a good resource is the Report Ranger wiki that's in the GitLab, and they'll show you a lot more of how vulnerabilities work and what you can do with vulnerability templates. In the meantime, this is Matt Strawn for Volkis, and I hope you enjoy using Report Ranger.